I'm Holly Keegan, founder of Academic Ascent. In my 20 plus years as an educator, I have been incredibly fortunate to learn from fellow educators, the families I work with, and the students I serve. Now I want to give back, so I've created these audio sessions as a way to share the best of what I've learned along the way. My hope is that it feels like a conversation and leaves you with something you can take away from each session to help your child manage student life just a little bit easier. After all, we're on this journey together. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to kick off our first ever audio session. And what better way to start than to talk about back to school? So, are you excited to return to routine or are you surprised? The summer really does always go by fast. Either way, and like with just about all transitions, preparation is key to making this a smooth transition for you and your child. And I'd say that this is true not just for children with executive dysfunction, but really all of us benefit from some preparation. I like to say that structure is freeing because it keeps other things from getting in the way. And with the start of a new school year, there's just all these unknowns. There's new teachers, maybe a heavier workload. Some kids are transitioning between elementary and middle or middle and high school. So there's a lot of stuff that's out of your control. But one way that you can make an immediate impact, something that is very much in your control, is making sure your child has a set place to work at home. It's important to define a space, a place where your child will associate with productivity. And this is beneficial no matter what grade your kid is in. Having a dedicated space plays an important role in working both effectively and efficiently. So what does this look like? Really, it all starts with a simple question. Ask your child, where do you think you will work best? And you really want to elicit a specific response. If they say, my room, that's just too vague. Where exactly in your room? And if you hear my bed, I want you to throw a red flag, throw something. I see this all the time. Yes, it's a comfortable place, but it is a place to relax. The first association we have with our beds is rest, and that's the opposite mindset we want for homework and studying. Plus, many of my high schoolers have admitted to me that they hop in bed for their homework and then they end up taking a nap. And guess what? They end up doing homework late into the night. So after the space is determined, the next question to ask is, what supplies do you need to be your most productive self? This is a great opportunity to reflect on how things went last school year. Were your kids constantly out of flashcards or always searching for pencils? Did their folders bust halfway through the school year? So what worked and what didn't? And then I encourage kids to take it a step further than just the typical supply list that might be given out by your school. So I ask them to imagine themselves at their best and what supplies would support them in that effort. It's a powerful way to exercise their frontal lobes, and it puts them in the driver's seat. Building in these opportunities for independence makes for more confident learners. So some things to consider if you've got younger kids, if they don't come up with this on their own, would be like a whiteboard with markers, Post-it notes, maybe a special calendar on their wall, something cool to hold all of their supplies, and definitely an extra notebook or two. For our older students in middle and high school, I love having Post-its of all different sizes and those little page flags that stick to the pages to help with annotations in their novels. Multicolored pens, lots of index cards, binder rings to hold all those cards, or some other way to keep them organized. And a planner or assignment book or some kind of scheduling support in place. I love using a large wall calendar. The bottom line is that we want this space to not only be one that fosters productivity, but it's inviting as well. I would say that you should have your older students create their shopping list on their own. They could maybe even order those supplies online. And for younger students, they should really participate in the entire process so they can see the steps that are necessary to be prepared for school. Something else I'd like to address about the space your child works is the level of distractions that may be present. The best space could be created, but if it's right in the middle of all the action, it's going to distract from that sustained attention. And when I ask my middle and high schoolers what their number one distractor is, I'm sure you can guess what they say. It's 95% of the time, it's their phone. The pull of a cell phone creates divided attention, plain and simple. It actually creates extended homework time because they're constantly starting and stopping their homework to look at their phone. It also often contributes to less accuracy or effort on an assignment. And sometimes they think they're taking a quick tech break, but you know as well as I do that you can get sucked into the vortex of social media or YouTube, and the next thing you know, 30 minutes have passed. So I would say, prior to the start of the school year, have a designated space for phones when it's homework time. And if your child is savvy enough to have their text messages pop up on their computer, have them put it on Do Not Disturb. Homework will take less time, and everyone will be happier as a result. So let's do a quick wrap up. Before school's underway, you want to create a space designed for homework and studying. Stock it with the necessary items to foster productivity and efficiency, and definitely involve your child in the process, start to finish. This gets them invested in their learning, and it offers them a sense of independence. Then make sure there's a plan for removing or minimizing distractions, especially those phones. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Happy learning.